Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for confirming. Yes. Let us start the interest in teaching. So as I start this class, I would like to ask you all, should a teacher have interest in teaching?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Most of you say yes. Why should a teacher have interest in teaching? Yes. Why do you think a teacher should have interest in teaching? Open-ended question. Anyone can answer. Yes.
So, if a teacher is not interested in teaching, they wouldn't even deliver the content properly, and it is like questionable if they will even think of the needs of the students or not.
Okay, very well put, Shreya. Thank you. So, if a teacher is not having interest in teaching, they will not cater to the needs of the learners, or there will be any motivation. Others, would you, if you like to add on some few points to what Shreya has said?
Sir, if a teacher have interest in teaching, it creates a better knowledge.
Learning environment. Yes,
Learning, yeah.
correct. Yes, thank you, Sanidhi. So, if a teacher is interested in teaching, it creates a better, positive learning environment in the classroom. Spurti says because the teaching is passion. Okay, teaching is passion, but there are some people who do not have this passion. They just join it because they want to, get into a particular work. So let us try to understand what is this interest in teaching. Why should one have interest in teaching? And what are the different aspects that are, a part of this interest in teaching, and what type of questions is NCERT CE going to ask, and why are they testing your interest in teaching? Technically, RI wants such candidates who have a strong interest in teaching, and they are going to ask questions related to different aspects of interest in teaching to check if you are interested enough to get into this profession, because they don't want individuals who are not interested in teaching. Because if one is not interested in teaching and if they become a teacher, it will not be beneficial for them as well as for the society. Right. So let us look into what is this interest in teaching and why are we, learning this interest in teaching. So first thing is passion for teaching. As Spurti had mentioned, passion for teaching, genuine enthusiasm and love for teaching profession. Passion for teaching is very important, and an individual should be passionate if they want to enter the profession of teaching. And this passion is very clearly visible when you look at an individual. Right, this passion is very clearly uh, visible, and this passion is something that shapes. So this commitment, this passion for teaching should come from within, right? Because teaching is a profession where you need to put in a lot of efforts, and if you're not interested in doing that, then the outcome will not be as you expect, right? So true interest in teaching comes from commitment, comes from resilience, and comes from continuous improvement. One who is, a lot of, who is committed to continuously improving himself or herself. Okay. Then impact on students. As you all were mentioning, your interest in teaching is going to have a direct impact on your learners. Okay. So if you have passion towards teaching, I know, Spurti, this slide has been already taught. What we are doing is revision. Yes. Also, okay. So Spurti remembers the slides. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, the impact on students. So teaching interest has a very strong impact on learners. And if you are having positive attitude towards teaching, and if you are having strong interest as a teacher towards teaching, it will have a very strong influence over students. And on the contrary, if a person is not interested to teach, they just come and do something. They just come, sit, talk something and go away. That will make students lose their interest in a particular subject. The same happened with me. I was losing my grip in mathematics because the mathematics teacher that I had was not encouraging doubts, used to beat us when we used to ask doubts. So we slowly started losing interest. And the teacher did not used to bring teaching aids or used to, involve learners in the classroom, just used to come, draw something on board, talk about it and go away. So that has a strong influence over the motivation of learners in the class, right? It has an influence over how a student gets involved in the classroom. So passionate teachers create more engaging and effective learning environments for the teaching. So interest in teaching also talks about your teacher effectiveness in the classroom. And interest in teaching has a direct influence over content. So, it also has an influence on student outcome, right? A teacher's genuine interest positively influences students' motivation, achievement, and overall development, the holistic development of the learner. And the continuous learning. As a teacher, you should have a commitment to ongoing learning and innovation in teaching. That is, you should be committed enough to learn the new things that are coming in. And you should not only learn those things, but you should also make use of those, whatever you have learned in the teaching learning process in your classroom. So commitment is also very important. These are the some core elements of interest in teaching. Okay, so the RIC exam is looking into how interested are you in teaching, and they are going to give you scenario-based questions. They are going to give you questions based on the content that we are going to discuss in today's class. Yes, shall we move on to the next slide? I'll move on. Yes. So, what are the different aspects? What are the different aspects that are here for qualities of an effective teacher? For interest in teaching, they are talking about different qualities. So let us look into the qualities of an effective teacher. The first one is passion for education. As you all have mentioned, a deep love for sharing and learning. So for a teacher to be interested, they should also have passion towards teaching. And let me tell you, as I have this experience, it's wonderful to teach. And this whole teaching learning process is something that gives you the utmost satisfaction. Teaching profession is one of those professions which has a very high ranking when it comes to job satisfaction. There is something called as job satisfaction, and there is some research that every year publishes which job has the highest satisfaction among its professionals, and teaching is one such job which gives very high satisfaction. And this passion is not only beneficial for you, it is highly beneficial for your students also. Then commitment to student development. Our interested teacher, a teacher who has interest towards this teaching, also is committed towards the development of a child, right? So the teacher is dedicated towards nurturing students' goals and potentials by providing them with appropriate experiences in the classroom and connecting whatever they are learning with real life situations and proper, offering them proper examples and other aspects with respect to learning, which is very much important, right? Then the next one is subject matter enthusiasm or subject matter expertise. A person who is interested in teaching should also be good in their subject. Lone interest, right? A lone interest is not going to tell you that you're not going to showcase that you're a good teacher. You should also be good at the subject matter. You should be enthusiastic in teaching that subject. You all might have experienced some teachers in your school time who are very passionate about the subject that they are teach. So whenever they come to class, you can see that they are highly motivated and they are they're with so much of energy when they want to teach a particular topic of their subject. So as a teacher who has interest in teaching, you should also have you should be a subject matter expert, and you should also have enthusiasm. Excitement and expertise in a specific subject area is very much necessary. Then desire for lifelong learning. As an interested teacher, you should also have a desire to update yourself, right? Learn continuously parallelly and know the recent advancements, recent developments that are taking place in the sphere of the teaching, learning, pedagogy, and your own subject that you want to teach. And you should have a pursuit for updating yourself. So when you are updated, it also ensures that your students are also being updated with the recent advancements that are taking place, the recent change in knowledge that is happening, and all those things. If you're not updating yourself, you're teaching the same old stuff to your students. And when they go out to the real world, right, or they're going on, when they go out to higher studies, they will face a lot of difficulties and problems, and they will say that, oh, my teacher never taught this. You also might have to, use this term that, oh, my teacher never taught this in my school, right? When some new topic comes in or something related to a topic comes in and you say that, oh, my teacher never taught it. So don't be that teacher where students say that, oh, my teacher never taught this to me. Yes. Then community engagement, community active participation in activities that happen in and around your community is also one thing that shows that you are a teacher who has a lot of interest in teaching. There might be competitions that happen in your surroundings. There might be programs that happen. There might be awareness programs that happens. There might be talks and meetings that happen. So as a teacher, you should also actively participate in that. Make yourself a member if there is any union or any group that exists, and actively engage in them to help the community develop and to know what is happening, what are the recent trends and advancements that are happening. Then an interested teacher will also do a lot of collaboration and teamwork, right? Collaboration between teachers, collaboration between teachers and students, and work effectively with colleagues and students. Participation in science olympiads, participation in national level, state level competitions, right? Or doing something at the school level also. So collaboration and teamwork is also one major aspect of it. And then adaptability and innovation. A teacher who is interested in teaching should also be able to adapt to the situations, to the problems that come, and should also actively look for innovations in teaching, using of new technology, preparing of teaching aids, and giving them rich experience. When you're teaching in a classroom, it's very important that what kind of experience do you create for learners in the classroom matters a lot. And how are you able to make a learner understand a particular topic? What learning experiences are you providing to the learner to make them construct the knowledge is very much important. So adaptability and innovation is also one thing, and reflective practice. There have been a lot of questions that have been asked in the examination also with respect to reflective practices. There is something called as a reflective diary, which you have to write when you go for an internship in teaching. And a lot of schools also have something called as reflective diary that is there. And even if such thing does not exist, you should practice reflection. What is reflection, one might ask? Reflection is nothing but once you finish your class, you come back and you write down what and all went right. Did things go according to what I planned? Where and all I was not able to create effective situations for learning, right? How can I improve myself? So reflecting on what you have done, how you have done, and is there a way which I can improve? So if a teacher is continuously reflecting on what they have done in the classroom, they'll be able to, improve themselves, modify themselves, and they'll also be able to meet the needs of the learners. So reflective practice is also a major aspect, a contributing factor to interest towards teaching. Then cultural awareness. Understanding and respecting diverse cultural backgrounds in the classroom is also very much necessary for a teacher. So based on this awareness, you'll be able to, you will be able to develop learning experiences for learners, which are more rooted into what their practices are, and they'll be able to better form understanding, which is very much important. I think there's a new person who has joined. Can you please change your name to from Xiaomi 231 or 2? Just click on the name that being displayed there, and you can change it to your own name. The person who has joined with the name phone's name, show me, and there is 2312 something something. So please change your name to your whatever name the name that is given there to your own name, right? Then career aspirations, goals and ambitions for professional growth in education. So a teacher who is joining into a teaching profession should also have aspiration to grow with the learners, and you be able to achieve whatever they are planning. Yes, we'll move on to the next one. Now, and let us look into unveiling the passion of teaching, that is interested in teaching. What are different aspects that are related to it? First one is enjoy explaining the concepts that you teach. Okay. As a passionate teacher, you're not only teaching, you're also enjoying what you're teaching, right? So you should have that satisfaction in clarifying their doubts, discussing ideas, and fostering understanding among learners, which is very much important. So as a teacher who has interest in teaching should also enjoy the whole process. So there might be questions that ask situation-based questions that can be asked here. And they might ask you that a teacher should enjoy what they're teaching, or the teacher should just make students listen to what they're discussing, or make them memorize what they're teaching. So such questions can be asked. So please remember that a passionate teacher who has an interest in teaching should also enjoy what they are explaining. And you might have seen this in your school time, where teachers very passionately talk about a particular topic. They use teaching aids. They make you do activities, and all those things happen. Then creative learning ideas. So innovative approaches to make learning engaging and enjoyable, bringing in different techniques, practices, teaching aids, and activities in the class where creativity of the learners is nurtured, right? So bring using creative learning ideas in the classroom as a teacher is something that a person who has interest in teaching does. And then one should have curiosity about learning and teaching, right? Fascination with human behavior and learning process. So one should have a lot of curiosity about learning, how learning is taking place among individuals. Are they able to understand what I'm transacting, right? So having that curiosity will help a teacher better plan their instructions for the learners, and they will also be able to understand the needs of the learners and will be able to adapt according to the needs of the learners and plan the instructions. Then admire impactful teaching. Appreciation for educators who positively influence your life. So as a teacher, you'll come across a lot of other teachers, and you'll see that how they teach, how they infect students with the motivation to learn, right? How they manage their classroom, how they provide different learning experiences. So you have a lot of opportunity to learn from others also. So admire impactful teachers, learn from them, if possible, participate, right, with them, get into peer teaching, and all those things can also be done. Moving on to the next one. Yeah. So the multifaceted impact of interest in teaching. So how interest in teaching can have different impact on students. So based on student motivation and engagement. So your interest in teaching will help in students' motivation and their participation in the classroom, their engagement in the classroom. So a teacher who is having strong interest in teaching will try to provide varied learning experiences to learners through different innovative pedagogical techniques. And this will enhance students' motivation, and not only motivation, it will engage students in the teaching learning process. For example, if you are conducting a role play activity for students for a topic, we'll take an example of a topic of, for example, you're talking about conservation of plants and animals, chapter number 5, class 8, science. So you're talking about conservation of plants and animals in the classroom, and you're discussing about how should we conserve plants and animals. What are the different uh, factors that are influencing conservation, not conservation, factors that are influencing conservation. There is human-wildlife conflict, right? There is poaching and hunting. Then there is ethical problems that exist. So there are different aspects that are there, or different factors that are there that are influencing conservation of plants and animals uh, through different for this thing. So you can do a role play in the classroom where you will give different scenario to students, and you'll ask them to develop a play, and they'll come and do that play, and through that play they'll answer how this human wildlife conflict, or how the factors influencing conservation are becoming a problem. And I had done this in my class, because of which I'm able to take that example. And students had come up with beautiful role plays where they were able to explain, they were able to act. So in one thing, they had made a play where some students are elephants, some students are local people, and some students are conservationists, the forest people. So what is happening? These elephants are running into human places, and they are eating their human these things, and they're saying that we are not having our forest. The elephants are having a conversation where they're saying that the students who are acting as elephants, they're saying that the place that we used to have when we were small was so much, and now we can see that these humans have built farms and all, and we are not able to get proper food. So we have no other option. We have to go in and we have to eat whatever they are doing. Then there comes a scene where some people start chasing them and chasing them with sticks and all those things. So the elephants run away. Then the humans are having a discussion saying that these animals are always entering our place and destroying our crops, and we are not able to, make money out of it and feed our family. What should we do? Then conservationists enter the place and they discuss solutions that can be taken up. What can be done to benefit both animals and the humans who live in the vicinity of forests. So it is a beautiful play. So what we are doing is that an interested teacher can provide learning experiences to learners, which will involve their active engagement in the process. And they are the ones who are suggesting solutions and constructing knowledge there. I know that I'm talking a lot, so wherever if you are not able to follow up or if you're not able to understand, please let me know. Okay. Are you all able to follow up here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
I hope the examples that I'm taking are also you're able to connect to. Then the second point is teacher effectiveness and satisfaction. So you should also look into how effective the teaching learning process is taking place, and are you satisfied? Let me tell you, a teacher who has a lot of interest in teaching will never be satisfied with the class. Will be like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So they'll always be trying something new. They'll always be, experimenting and inventing and trying to give the best learning experience possible to the learners. And when you see your students achieve something, that brings in satisfaction. So teachers should, always look into teacher effectiveness and satisfaction. Then continuous self-improvement is something that an effective teacher does. And continuous self-improvement can be done through reflective practice, trying to reflect on what you're doing and how can I improve myself. And this continuous improvement can also happen by participating in different workshops, teacher development programs, teacher training programs, and self-reading is also an aspect of it, which a person who has interest in teaching should do. And as a teacher, you should always create positive learning environment in the class where students are not scared of you. Students are not afraid of asking questions. If you remember, there was an question PYQ where it says that which among the following says that effective learning is taking place. And one option was that students are able to discuss in the class and ask curious questions based on what has been discussed. Something like that. A question was there, if you are able to recall. So all these can come in when you are creating a positive learning environment for the students in the classroom. So one major thing is to create a positive and learning environment in the classroom, a democratic learning environment where everyone has a chance to participate, everyone are able to ask their doubts. There's a discussion going on where students are given a platform to put forward their views about a particular topic, all these things. Moving on to the next slide. Yes. How to cultivate interest in teaching? As a teacher, what should you do to cultivate your interest in teaching? So, first thing is in engaging in the teaching learning process and trying to find out what is happening there. What are you able to do? How are you able to do all these things? So, first thing is developing practical skills. There are different skills that are involved in this teaching learning process. There is skill of introduction, that is how do you introduce a topic. There is skill of explanation, how do you make students explain a particular topic. Skill of illustration with examples, using examples, how can a teacher illustrate particular topics. Skill of blackboard writing, skill of classroom management, then skill of questioning. So there are multiple skills that are there. And as a teacher, you should develop all these practical skills that are required for teaching, right? First thing is that, and you can do this through voluntary roles, that you can just to go in and say that I'll help, I'll do all these things and all. So during your pre-service education and in-service education, can anyone help me with this? What is this pre-service and in-service? We have discussed this multiple times, so that's why I'm asking you.
Free service means before teaching, sir.
Pre-service means before teaching, Chinmay.
Yes, sir.
And what is in-service?
Process.
During the teaching. Can you give example of pre-service and who are pre-service teachers and who are in-service teachers?
the trainees are the pre-service teachers.
Yes, thank you, Arpita. So the trainees who are undergoing the course, Chinmay, I know that you wanted to say the same thing. So for example, if you have joined the RIE, and you're undergoing the B.Sc.B.Ed program. So the teachers who are undergoing the teacher training program are known as pre-service teachers. And the teachers who have joined into a school as a professional are known as in-service teachers. Okay, so when you are doing this pre-service program, you should voluntarily participate in a lot of activities that are going on around you and learn through those activities. Okay, so engaging in the teaching process will give you a lot of idea and it will help you understand and cultivate interest in teaching. Then second thing is attending workshops, training programs, and all those things. And here what will happen is when you're attending these workshops, training programs, seminars, symposiums, conferences, all these things, you'll get a platform where you'll be able to share ideas and where you'll be able to listen to people who are already in the profession, and you'll come to know what they're doing, how they're able to make a change in their learners. So attending these programs and workshops and other things will help you learn a lot of things and learn innovative methods that are there, which people are following in the teaching learning process. Then reflecting on passion. Reinforce personal commitment to education. Reflection is something that is very important, and you might have come across a lot of questions in the PYQs and in the mock tests and all, which talk about reflection in teaching. So reflective practice is very important, where you'll be able to know where you stand, how we are able to do things, and where you need to improve yourself. Okay. Then exploring stories. Gain inspiration from great teachers' experiences. There are a lot of, uh, documentaries that are available. There are a lot of videos that are available where teachers share their experiences. Every year, there is something called as National Teachers Award. Okay, I don't know if you have heard about it or if you have seen some teachers getting that. So every year there is something called as National Teachers Award, where they identify teachers for their exceptional talents and they award those teachers. So learning, listening to those teachers, their videos, their podcasts, right? Or trying to know what they have done. So exploring different stories of these exceptional teachers who have a lot of experiences and they have done a lot of good work for the students will also help you motivate yourself and develop interest towards the profession of teaching. Okay, so this is how you can cultivate interest in the teaching profession. Next, benefits of good assessment or good teaching. As one major aspect of teaching is assessment. So how a teacher should participate in assessment and how assessment is going to benefit learners, right? And if you're having an interest in teaching, and if you call yourself a teacher who's passionate towards teaching or have an interest, assessment is also one major part of it. Now, assessment can happen during the class. Sorry, assessment can happen before the class, during the class, and after the class. So assessment can take place in all these three times: during, before, and after the class. So what is this assessment? Why should one do assessment, and how will assessment benefit your learners is something that we are trying to look into here. Okay. Yes. So when we talk about assessment, first one is motivation and engagement. Enhances learners' enthusiasm and participation. When you're continuously assessing students and when you're giving them opportunities to correct themselves, it helps motivation and engagement of learners in the classroom. Enhances learners' enthusiasm and participation. Also, as a teacher who is interested in learning, you should always motivate or encourage this student engagement and motivation in the classroom. As a teacher, you should not only reflect on by yourself, you should also help students reflect what they have learned. Are they have been able to understand everything properly? Is there any gaps that exist? Are there any suggestions that you need to give them? So encouraging self-reflection is also very important. And when you help students self-reflect, you promote critical thinking, and you'll also helping students become aware of what they're doing, how they are doing, are they doing it correct or not, concepts where they have doubt or they need clarification. All these things come forward. Then accountability and standards. You should also set accountability. You should make learners accountable of what they're learning, and you should also set standards of learning. So ensures learners meet educational benchmarks. As a teacher, first of all, you should be accountable of what you're doing. You should track things that you're doing, and you should take what to say. You should take the account of what you're doing, or you should take the charge of what you're doing. If, for example, if a student is not performing good in the class, it's not the problem of student, it's the problem of teacher. So taking accountability of what you're doing, how you're doing, why you're doing. If there anything goes wrong, you should be able to, okay, so this is a mistake that I have done. This is a problem that has happened, and I should be able to hold myself accountable for this. And setting standards for learners, ensuring that you should, as a teacher, you should set a particular standard that all my students should be able to reach this standard. Right? This standard can be based on how they're able to explain concepts, how they're able to showcase what they have learned. So setting up standards is also very important for you as a teacher. And next one is informed instructional designs. Use different instructional designs and in different pedagogical techniques when you teach in class. And NEP 2020 is talking about two major instructional practices. Can you please name them? When it comes to teaching or pedagogical practices, NEP 2020 talks about two major instructional practices. There is one more, but let us, can you help me with those two? Yes? Anyone? Are you all there in the class? NEP 2020 is talking about two pedagogical approaches, and it is putting a lot of emphasis on it. Okay, if you don't remember, let me put it forward. It is experiential learning, and it is, the other one is experiential learning. The other one is? Okay, so the other one is inquiry-based learning. I hope you all are there in the class and you are actively listening. You can just put it in the chat box also that you're there in the class. Yes. So experiential learning is one, and inquiry-based learning is the other one that NEP 2020 is actively promoting. Especially they are focusing a lot on experiential learning. Okay, yes, you're there, but you don't want to answer. Okay, it's fine. I understand it's a long class and we have been discussing since a very long time. Yeah. So making informed instructional designs, using different strategies and adapting the strategies, using the strategies based on the needs of the learners, adapting yourself to the needs of the learners and developing strategies and using them in the classroom is something that is very important. Then personalized learning. As a teacher, you should also look into the needs of the learners. As I said, the classroom has different types of learners, and all these learners have various needs. So you have to tailor your instructions based on the needs of the learners as a teacher. Providing them experiences based on their needs is something that you have to do. Then improvement and feedback. Excuse me. Okay, it didn't come. Yeah. So feedback and improvement is something that also you have to take care of. And you should constantly ask for feedback. Feedback from your students, feedback from your peers, right? Asking your peer teachers to come and sit in your class and observe and give feedback. Asking your students to what you should look into, how you should modify yourself or what they're not able to understand, your pace of teaching, your voice modulation, your language, the examples that you're taking, the activities that you're conducting in teaching. So when you're continuously taking feedback, you are able to identify the problems and gaps that are there and you'll be able to improve yourself. Okay, that is feedback and improvement. So this is what we have today in detail discussed about attitude towards education and interest in teaching. I hope you have followed up. Do you have any doubts? If you have any doubts, please put it forward. We'll discuss those doubts. If no, then we'll end the session. Yes, any doubts, any clarification that you need? Yes? Any doubts, any clarifications? So now, based on whatever we have discussed, please go back to the PYQs, have a look at the questions, and then you'll get an idea regarding what we have discussed and how this has an influence or how questions are asked based on these topics. You'll get an idea. So thank you for attending today's session. I hope the concepts, we have revised the concepts of attitude towards education and interest in teaching. In tomorrow's class, we're going to go ahead with the next schedule. The schedule is already posted in the group, and I think the schedule will also be posted on YouTube. If it might have already been posted. If not, it will also be posted in the YouTube. So please go through that also if you want to revisit, and please keep going to the PYQs and the mock tests that are available in the application. Spend your time. This is the last week that you have. Actively engage yourself in revisiting the concepts and revising the concepts and asking doubts that you have, seeking clarifications and going through the content so that you're fully prepared for the exam. And once you enter the exam, you'll be able to better perform. Thank you everyone for attending this session, and we'll meet in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Hima has asked in the group is, sir, B.Sc.B.Ed only for teaching. See, B.Sc.B.Ed is a course that will enable you to teach. But as you'll be learning science and education together, you'll be able to go for higher education also. It's not only for teaching, it is also for higher education also. So based on B.Sc subjects in sciences, you can go into specialization and you can enter masters. Similarly, you can enter masters or you can go into higher learning with respect to educational courses. There is M.Ed, there are other courses that are available. So B.Sc.B.Ed is not only for teaching, it also gives you a platform to venture into higher education and research also. Okay. Yes. Hima, any other doubt you have? Any further clarification regarding B.Sc.B.Ed? Proximity means something that is close. Okay, you have put it in the group. Let us read this question. So Sinchana has put a question in the group. For a better interaction with students, the teacher's objective should be proximity. By proximity here, they're asking about getting close with the students and try to understand the problem, from their lens and that thing. That is getting close to the problem that they're having. Proximity. Okay. Affirm or correct students' performance, equitable distribution of response time, all of this. Yeah, all of this is a correct answer here. Proximity is that is getting close to what they're having. Proximity. Getting close to whatever doubt they're having. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you. We'll meet in the next class. And if you have any doubts, you can ask us in the WhatsApp group. You can always reach out to us and we'll help you with the explanation and answer for doubts that